Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Leetcode Crane. Today we have 1002 Find Common Characters. It says here that we're given a string array words, and from here we are to return an array of all characters that show up in all strings within the words, including duplicates. And you may return the answer in any order. Regarding the including duplicates, this means that if we have words where a certain character, let's say L, appears twice, the minimum count that it appears is twice in each of the words in words, then we want to return both. But the order in which we return the characters does that matter. So this can be LLE. The order does not matter, but we want to maintain the count, which is the minimum count of character that appears in every word in words. Okay, so I thought we could go through the examples here of what we would like to do, which is first we can get the baseline of the first word. So essentially, we're going to do the minimum count and we're going to initialize it with the first word. And we are indeed guaranteed at least one word. Okay, now by this point, we're going to get something like, Bella has one B, looks like one E, two L, and one A. Okay, so this is our baseline. Then we're going to iterate for word in words, starting from the second word. We have our baseline with the first word. We're going to iterate from the second word. And as we iterate, we're going to get counts, the character counts of that word that we're iterating. Once we get the word, we're basically updating minimum counts with the smaller of the available counts. So we can say for char count in our base, which is our minimum counts dot items, and we'll say, okay, so we're iterating this against the current word, which is label. The second word is label, and we're gonna update this with the minimum. Now label happens to be a permutation of Bella, so this will all be the same. It gets more interesting once we hit roller, so let's do that. So we're gonna iterate B. Roller does not have any B, so move on. No O either. There is an L, and the minimum count is 2. So we say the minimum count of whatever character we're iterating here should be the minimum of the current count or the current words count of that char. So here it happens to be the same 2. Okay. And and the other thing is because B is not in roller, the minimum is essentially 0. The counts in this case would be, so the minimum count of B would be the minimum of the current count, which before this was 1, or the current count, which is 0 for roller. So it becomes 0. Likewise with A, it becomes 0. Then at the end of this, we can initialize an array and say, all right, we've identified all the minimum counts. Then we end up with something like this, and we say for char count in minimum counts dot items. So we're iterating this yet again, and we're adding two res extent, we're adding two res the char in array form. Don't forget the brackets, and we're multiplying that with the count. So if the count happens to be 0, then we're extending it by just an empty array, so essentially we're not extending. And only when there is a count, we're extending it by that count. And at the end, we just return res. Now, just to hone in the idea further, let's do a quick run with the second example. Now, the baseline will be C. C, there's one, there's two O's, and there's one L. Now, when we go to log, so that's our min counts baseline, and we're iterating from the second word onwards. We get the counts. Now we compare. There's no C, so that becomes, oh, there is a C, so the minimum count is 1. O, the minimum count is no longer 2. The current count is 2, that's the baseline, but the new count for the current word, I know that's a little confusing. For the current word, the count of O is 1, which is less than 2. And L stays the same, there's 1. Now we get to the last word. There is one C, there's two O's, but we want to take the minimum, so this holds. And then we iterate the L, there's no L, so this becomes 0. And then we have a res, which starts empty, like so. Then we extend it by C times 1, and then O times 1. And this essentially becomes the end O. And that's what we return. So let's give this a run, along with a submit. And there you have it. This is 1002 Find Common Characters. Thanks a bunch. Happy coding. See you next time.